What's up, Red Wings fans? I'm Daniella Bruce, and I am joined now by Larry Murphy. We're going to continue our conversations about some of the Red Wings classic games that are airing on Fox Sports Detroit. But first, Larry, thank you so much for joining us. How's it going over there? You handling all this pretty well?
Yeah, everybody here is healthy, so that's obviously the most important thing. Doing well, staying busy, finding different projects. The house has never looked so good, so yep, everything's a-okay. Hopefully, the same for you, Daniela.
It is actually. I was just going to say, I have never been so caught up on laundry, so that has to be one positive, right?
Yeah.
All right, Larry, let's get into this one. And we're going to start by talking about your arrival in Detroit, which is in March of 97. It was a trade between the Maple Leafs and the Red Wings. And you actually had a no trade clause with the Leafs. What was it about Detroit that made you so certain you wanted to come here?
Well, it was the opportunity to win the Stanley Cup. That was the main reason. And in Toronto, we weren't going to have a shot that season. So hey, opportunity number one. Scotty Bowman was the coach, so I was familiar with that situation. But kind of a bit of a sidebar to that question is, I had no idea that I was going to be traded, and fortunately, I got the call at 2:45, deadline being 3 o'clock. Fortunately, I had my cell phone with me to take the call because I had to waive the no trade clause in order to come to Detroit. And if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't had the phone with me, obviously I wouldn't have been able to do it, and this opportunity never would have come to fruition. So, fortunately, it was there. Fortunately, it was charged up, and I was able to take the call.
And you mentioned Scotty Bowman a little bit and that you had a past with him. What is your relationship like with him? And if you have a story of your first conversation with Scotty when that trade happened, what was that story like?
Well, the interesting thing is, yeah, I had Scotty for, I believe, 3 years in Pittsburgh before I got to Detroit. And of course, I played, I believe, almost 5 seasons here with the Red Wings. So quite a big chunk of my career, I played for Scotty Bowman. And Scotty's obviously a very interesting individual, just an outstanding coach. But the thing was, I'd played for him for 8 years and never really had any sort of conversation with him. So it was very interesting. I had the utmost respect for him, and of course, we communicated on the coaching player sort of relationship, but never anything personal. When I look back on it, it seemed kind of strange. 8 years with somebody and never really sat down, had a talk to with them about anything else besides the power play or the penalty kill or opposition coverage or things related to hockey. Never anything else besides that. So to me, that's kind of the interesting story with Scotty Bowman. Now after I retired, I've run into him in different situations, and we've had tremendous conversations talking about timeshares and at Disney World and all these sort of things that never even came close to discussing when I played for him.
Larry, we caught up with Nick Lidstrom as well and talked to him about how he was a little bit surprised when you and him were paired up with the Legion of Doom in Philly. Now, when you heard that, did you see it open up some more offensive possibilities for you? And what was your overall reaction?
Well, it was Scotty's Bowman. I mean, he felt that the best way to play that line. I mean, we went into the finals. The Flyers were the favorite, and the main reason why they were the favorite and we were the underdogs was because of the line, as you mentioned, the Legion of Doom. So that was problem number one for us. And of course, Eric Lindros being the centerman, he was the guy. He was the main focus of that line. So Scotty felt that the best way to play this line wasn't to bang heads with him because he was a huge, strong player. John LeClaire was on that line, was a big, strong forward, bigger than basically. I think both guys were bigger than anybody on our team. So he felt that, well, let's keep the puck away from him. And then Nick and I were a type of pairing that we played a lot of puck possession. We relied on making good, strong passes. We utilized each other as a partner. We knew how we would position ourselves and make each other, always knew where the availability was for the pass. Playing with Nick, he was always in the right place at the right time. So it made my job a lot easier. If defensively, in terms of coverage, I knew where he was going to be. If I had the puck, I knew where he was going to be for an out. So that was Scotty's goal, was to just basically not let them have the puck. And it played well. I obviously played very well in this series. They were expecting The Flyers were expecting that Vladdy Konstantinov basically was going to be facing Eric Lindros in his line and was going to bang heads because Vladdy, as we all know, was for pound, there was no tougher guy in the National Hockey League. There was no player that could hit harder than him. But Scotty went the direction of, well, let's play puck possession. So, and kind of to further your question, it was offensively, well, our goal was to control the puck, make plays with the puck. Well, yeah, that leads to more offense. That's how you score. Puck possession is basically how you score. You with that, you develop scoring opportunities and you try to take advantage of it. So, yes, we were more of an offensive sort of, because of that approach, we were able to create more offense ourselves.
So a bit more of a finesse approach from Scotty Bowman there. And during that back-to-back run, and maybe this is why, I'm not sure, but one criticism of the Red Wings was that they weren't tough enough. You guys weren't tough enough. And as if being back-to-back champs doesn't speak for itself, what was your reaction to statements like that?
That's an interesting question, Daniella, and it's something I haven't heard probably since those seasons where we won the cup. It was always the two cups. It was always a concern. We were a team that, we had elements of guys that were played the physical game. You know, Joey Kosher and Darren McCarty and our first cup, Vladdy on the team. We had Marty Lapointe. I mean, we did have that element, but as a defense core, our approach was based on positioning, coverage. We weren't. The biggest concern was, well, what about play in front of your own net? You're not a team that you're going to run guys out of the crease and you're going to make them pay the price for standing in front of the goaltender. That was always the big concern in the media, but as Scotty Bowman coached and as a team, we believe that if we controlled the game, we had the elements of great goaltending, which we got from Mike Vernon and Chris Osgood, and everybody played responsible, played their position with the puck. We're very responsible with it. That was going to be what was going to take us to victory, and that's exactly how it played out. If we went out there and tried to play that bang crash sort of game that the media thought that we needed to do, we wouldn't have won. You've got to find a way. Your key to your success, Daniella, and it was a case of that puck possession, outplaying the opposition. Like in '97, I don't think in the playoffs, I don't think there was one game in that playoffs where we were outshot. So that's where our success came from, and that's an element that wasn't the type of hockey that we were trying to achieve.
This is a really cool opportunity that FSD and the Red Wings are giving fans to kind of walk down memory lane and watch all of these classic games. Will you be joining in and reminiscing, watching these games?
Well, yeah, actually, already this week we did at Fox Sports. We looked at the first game of the '97 playoff series against the Flyers, and we did myself and Chris Osgood and John Keating. We had like a half-hour pregame show. And then during that game, I was on the Twitter account for Fox Sports Detroit, having conversation with fans watching the game. So we tried that out earlier this week, and it worked out great. So I'm sure that I know they have a schedule of all the sports on Fox Sports Detroit. Not only the Wings, they're going to look at the Pistons championships, and then they're going to look at the Tigers, their championship season. So. That's a lot of fun. It's great to reminisce. When I watched game one, I hadn't seen that game, the '97 game one. I hadn't seen it since. I never saw it actually. I played in the game, but never really sat down and watched the game. So that was a lot of fun. So I look forward to. I'm going to watch all these games that Fox Sports Detroit have scheduled, and they've got quite a few in the works right now. So that's going to be nice. It's going to be reminiscing time now for while. We'll hold up at home, and before we give the all clear sign. So it's a great way to spend some free time.
Exactly. If we can't have live hockey, then we might as well watch some of these classic games that we have, and live sports in general. Like you said, there's some Pistons games and Tigers games that will be shown as well. Very cool opportunity. And Larry, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great chatting with you and talking about some really, really great Red Wings memories.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, Danielle. And of course, the message to everyone, stay safe and keep your distance, and we'll all get through this. But in the meantime, yeah, it's all about reminiscing.
As he said, everybody stay safe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.